Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. Now finally we're back on this Mercedes. We have done an awful lot of work, you just can't really see it. Painting, preparation, getting all the parts, because we're basically doing everything on this. One thing we have done, which is really good to know, this back axle part here, the actual main carrier, this is off the diesel one, and the main bushings, the main actual sub-mount bushings, what were they from Mercedes?
According to Mercedes source, something like 370 quid each.
370, is that euros or dollars?
Yeah, euros, I think.
About 350 odd pounds, euros each. Where if you get one off the 2 litre, off the petrol ones, they are what? 15 was they?
15 euros.
15 euros each. So, and there is a slight difference, but no one can really tell us what the slight difference is. Let's just get you closer. Have you got one there?
Yeah, that's right.
Now, these are what we're talking about. These are 15 euros each, because the one we're putting them on is off a diesel, off a petrol. It's off a petrol. This is off a diesel. Now, everything is exactly the same. The mounts, everything is identical. It's just these are slightly different. So what we've done, we got a second-hand one. What was it? Cost you 40 quid, was it? 40 quid for the whole back of it. And what we've done is, you'll see in the last video, that's the ones we have painted ready to put on this. So just from doing that, we have saved, you know, 600-700 euros just from doing one thing. He spent 40 quid and saved 600 or 700. So there we go. If we ever need to replace these in the future, they're so much cheaper. No one can really tell us, we've asked loads of people that have been doing this for years, no one can really tell us the difference. They're just saying there is some difference somewhere, and we don't really know.
Yeah, when we take down this old one now, we'll be able to compare them.
Yeah, that's what we'll be able to do.
Yeah.
We'll be able to actually say, because they are saying that they're different, and we just didn't want to risk it, so we got the whole back axle for 40 quid. Plans have changed slightly again. Just come in shot.
Oh, sorry.
He's taken the self-leveling system off just for the minute, and he's going to maybe retrofit that further down the line. So essentially, he listened to what I said like 6 months ago.
No, everybody says to keep it, and I think I agree with that, but...
Hold on, there was one guy that said don't keep it. Well, that's two guys.
Oh yeah, well, generally most people are saying to keep it, but I think it's, you know, I need to service this definitely. These are very old, these spheres, so they definitely need to go, and I'm not sure of the condition of my shocks. So even like that area there is, if they're all new, that's 800 euros.
Yeah, we know it's at least £1,000. Plus, we could have other issues with the front pump. You could be spending £2,000 on this system, depending on what issues you've got. And the thing is, you're not, and I don't care what anyone says, you're not going to notice it. You're just not going to notice that it's on or it isn't. So that's it.
So I'm going to work on it. I can figure out how to service this, and I can figure out how to, I want to see, can I get these tested and maybe rebuilt. And these spheres aren't too bad. I think they're 70 euro each, but you know,
it's the shocks that really are quite expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, they're 300 each.
And we've also got problems with our lines. Some of the lines are rusty, so they'd all have to be replaced as well. That's not cheap. So that, you know, the fact these lines here, they're all leaking again, they're not too bad, but you know, even little bits, when you put them a lot together, soon adds up. So just for money's sake, at the minute, we're going to rip it all out, but we're not going to rip it out so it can't be put back in. It can be retrofitted, you know, later on.
I think it is retrofittable as well, because the shock goes up through.
Yeah,
when this is up, it'll fit up through the middle of the spring, and it'll tie on.
Yeah, we can take the shocks off without undoing anything, essentially.
Yeah.
And you can put these on without. Now it would be a bit awkward, but you can put them on without taking everything off. This you can do again, so it's possible. It's a little bit awkward, but it's possible. So what we're going to do today is, we've got a lot of work. We're going to we need to rip all this down. We need to clean all the underneath, because there's a lot of cleaning, a lot of painting. We found a few little rust holes, but nothing major. So actually the underneath of this car is in really good nick. The problems we actually found, so if you can just see where my hand is, you can't see. This is the problem, like there's a hole here, but the reason there's a hole here is because someone put too much sealer on. I know you think you put sealer under your car and you're doing good. You're not. the sealer here broke away and it had a big lip on it so the water could sit inside the sealer and over a period of years rusted away. If there was no sealer here, I guarantee you there'll be no hole here. There might be some surface rust, but there'll be no hole here. So if you do seal your car, it's a thing that once every 6 months, once every year, you have to go back, flake all the loose bits off and reseal it. In some parts of America, I know you cannot do that because of the way the rust belt works and everything, and it will just destroy it anyway. But where we are in Ireland and the UK, as long as you keep on top of your sealer, like once every 6 months, once every year, you will be okay. But it's you know, it's a lot of work to do that every single time. So bear that in mind. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off the wheels. We're going to get this diff ready to come down. We won't really show you because we've already done it in the previous video. The diff here actually holds the back end of it up. And then all we've essentially got is these big 2 bushings here, and this whole unit will come down with tyres and everything on. We're going to take them wheels off because it's just going to make our life easier. We have to disconnect the drop links as well. One's broke here, but that doesn't matter. Then we're going to put the new stuff back. There's wheel bearings we've got to put back on, and that's going to be a separate video because that's just a separate thing altogether. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get cracking, and we'll see you on the flip side. Peace. Right, we've released everything. We've taken everything off, lines, absolutely everything, and we've just got one more bolt. We've got 2 gearbox stands underneath, and hopefully between the 2 gearbox stands and us 2, we should be safe, but just hold that side. Might you just hold that?
Okay.
No, you have to hold it.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of the gun. You can tell, looks like a bullet. Doesn't that look like a bullet? Look how clean it is.
Good sign. There's no rust in there.
Right, go to your side now. And slowly together, let's just push these down. Twist it. Go on. There we go. As easy as that. God, I tell you, these help, don't they? Yeah. Right, just lift it up and put it to the front of the car. You got it? Oh. Yeah, put it down. Hands in the way. Now, dog can see the rabbit. We can see where all the other rust spots are. Let's get you underneath. Right, as you can see, we've got a few little holes there, nothing major. Bit of surface rust here, nothing major, but we have kind of spotted a bit more problems here where the actual axle, we snapped a bolt here, but all this is rusty. So this is all going to have to be strengthened up before, well, we're going to put the axle back on, but it's going to have to be strengthened up before it goes on the road properly. That side, this is the problem. This is the thick sealer. It's way too thick, and when it comes off like this, the water just sits in there and rots. We got a bit surface rust up there, but nothing major. We're going to be replacing all these brake lines here, replacing the fuel lines, replacing everything. But what we're going to do now is give this a good clean scrub, a miracle paint.
I'm sad.
Oh, you're sad. Oh. Oh. Got a rusty hole.
In my car.
Oh, see, you're lucky you said that. I'm going to edit that little bit out, so just, I've got a rusty hole.
Okay.
Right, as you can see, these are all the new parts we're putting on. There, the diff is in place. We still have to put the rubber axle bushings in, and they are the new wishbones. We are replacing the dust shields because they're there being painted at the minute. And underneath, as you can see, he's done all the rubbing down, all the painting of this miracle paint, all the way down to, as you can see there. Now, one thing you do have to be careful of, even though you maybe think you're doing well covering your car or painting it, undercoating it, like I said, depending where you live in the world, it could be the worst thing you ever did. He is going to have to come back once every 6 months, once every year, and just make sure there's no cracked paint. If the paint is cracked, the water will sit in behind it and you will have rust where you've never had rust before. So just be careful. Depending where you are in the world, it's not necessarily the best thing for you to do. What we've also done, you see we've got brand new brake lines all the way to both brakes, new flexible hoses, new brake line all the way down there. So we're just leaving them in there for the time being. And we're now going to put this on. Sorted. Right, we've taken, this is the old bushing off the old axle. Obviously this is our replacement bushing. And they are very, very similar. We can't really see any difference. This fits in the hole, but it's not, it's a bit loose. The only difference we can see, and we've tried, no one can really tell us the difference. The only difference is, this is, what was it? 200 or 300?
375.
375, 15 euros. Granted, this isn't a genuine one, but you just can't buy these spurious at all. You can buy these ones spurious. So yeah, that's the difference. And when we put them together, you can actually see, just see, there you go. You can see it is slightly thicker. So, but we've got a completely different rear axle. Everything else is the same except the hole diameter is slightly smaller, which means even if these go every couple of years, they're only 15 quid. They're not the guts of 400 quid. So, you know, 800 quid more or less for 2 bushings, or 30 quid. Which would you do? Now I'm going to get some keyboard warning, why you have to do this? Well, you're not going to spend 800 quid when you can spend 30. So there you go. That's the only difference we can see. What we're going to do now is we're going to get this kind of up. There's no point me showing you because it's just going to be me and him either side of the axle stands. We're going to rest this on, we're going to jack it up and put a couple of bolts. Once we kind of get it on, we'll do a bit of filming then, but to get it up, there's no real point. So that's it, sorted. Plans have changed again. This is the problem you're doing a project like this, plans always change. And Michael has seen the light. He has replaced the fuel lines. We've got the new nickel fuel lines, so they're not going to rust. We've replaced the whole lot.
Leon, your boyfriend's here. Will I come to wait for you and we finish on the video?
You're telling him to meet me around the back. Thinks it's funny. So we replaced them, and the reason, I'll show you in a second, but the reason why is because they do go over the diff, and to do them in the future is a nightmare. And yeah, it's just a nightmare. You don't really want to, just want to do them once and be done with them. But as you can see, we're getting everything on. We need to put the boot back on, but that's not a problem. I'm going to be filming doing the wheel bearing next because that is a complete issue in itself. There is no information out there properly on how to actually do it, so it should be good for people. And yeah, so I'll quickly show you the fuel lines we've done, and we're getting there. We've nearly got the back end done, sorted. Might not be able to see them properly, but as you can see, they kind of go on over the diff, in and around and all the way to the front of the car, and you can just kind of see we've still got a little bit of fiddling to do just to get them, you know, properly square and stuff like that. But as you can see, new handbrake cables, new springs, new bushings, just absolutely everything new. He's got stainless steel bolts. He's just doing everything properly, which is really good. Makes everyone's life so much easier and the car a lot more reliable.
It's a boss, but I still have to take more. Now, Leon, this time we put the rubber on.
You need a rubber what?
Put the rubber on the top first.
You want a rubber what?
Put the rubber on top of the top first.
Dick. Anyway, right people, we are done at the back. We fixed this. We've got, what have we got new? We've basically everything. Shoes, brakes, springs. I don't know if I said this in the beginning of the video, but he has gone back to my original idea, which he didn't listen to me, of putting standard shocks back in, because it's money, it's all sorts, and you can always retrofit the other thing afterwards. So we have everything, new brake lines, new handbrakes, new CV joints, shocks, rubbers, you name it, with everything new gone into this. So we've even new brake lines, new fuel lines. The only thing we're missing is just the actual rubber pipe coming off to the tank that we're going to get then. Yeah, there's nothing else I can think. What else have we done to it, the back? Oh, new diff mounts.
We cleaned out the diff, we put seals on the diff.
Oh yeah, all new seals.
We've got these
Bushings.
rebuilt, new springs, new...
Shocks, which we're just about to put that shock in.
Yeah.
Everything essentially in the back we have done. So now the back is done. There's going to be a few little things like adjusting the brakes properly and, you know, kind of a few little things messing around there. Most probably going to have to do the bearings again, I'm not sure. But they feel, and they're within spec from the old ones. So if they're in spec from the old ones, they're actually slightly tighter than the old ones, but they should be good. So that's really it. I think the back is done. Next thing we're going to do is the front part of the suspension. Then it's the engine, and then it's bodywork. But bodywork might be a while. And that's it. So yeah, have you done it? Right. Shock. Dick.
No.
Shock. Dick.
No.
Dick shock.
I'm going to put back the hydraulic suspension. It's just at the moment, it's an expense I don't need because it's $1,000 anyway to do it. And there's an offer on these with Nick's Garage. They were €100, and they're supposed to be okay. So €100, 1,000 plus euro.
What did I originally say to you?
I know, but I like
fucking there you go. I said to you, but you didn't listen to me. No, you had to go on someone on the internet and said, "Dang, no," and then he listened to him. For fuck's sake, he listened to someone else.
I needed to learn about. I know I have a fair idea what I'm talking about with
Can
hydraulic
listen to me.
suspension now. Just stick that in there.
Right, everybody, that's it. We're done. And a bit of an in-joke, which you won't get, but the car is still here. Not going to say more. There we go. So look, hope it helps. Please like, share, subscribe, all the rest. Don't forget, links up here, links down below. But most importantly, don't forget.
Wash your hands after you get them dirty. And say your prayers at bedtime.
Bye.
Goodbye.